The lathe modifier. The lathe modifier is used to create a 3D shape by revolving a shape around an axis. So I'm going to come up in my front viewport. I'm going to just draw a line, and I'm going to turn on my snaps here, and I'm just going to come along here and just build a simple shape here. All right, and here's my line. Okay, I have a line generated, and now I'm going to go into my Modify tab of my command panel. I'm going to go to my modifier list. I'm going to come down and I'm going to go to lathe. All right, and by default, then it's actually spinning this around 360 degrees. So I'm going to say, all right, I could spin it around, say 270 degrees, for example. And you can see I'm spinning it down here, and let's come down into, let's come into my perspective view here. And so I can come in here and say, let's go and control. So I can go 360 degrees or any degrees I want. My weld core is when I'm welding points on the axis together. So my weld core is used to weld vertices that are on the axis of revolution. I could flip my normals. I can increase my segments if I needed. I could turn the caps on and off, the bottom and tops of the objects on and off. I could flip my direction. I could say, oh, it's really meant to be spun on the X direction. There's my Y, or there was on the Z. So I'd go and change the directions if needed, and I can align it on the minimum spot, center down the max, and line it down the center usually. We're usually going to go with a mesh output, but if I want it really smooth, I would go with NURBS. Or if I don't want much smoothness, I can go with a patch. So, and I can also uncheck the smoothness if I want it to be a little bit on the rougher side. So what's nice about the lathe is I can go back in at any time and adjust my line. And so I could go into edit my vertices and make changes to my line, and my lathe operation will be updated. I can always turn off my lathe operation, my lathe modifier, turn it back on. So the lathe modifier is used to spin or rotate typically a 2D object to create a 3D object.